Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Let's get into this Halloween look today. I did take a little break, but that's because I was working a bunch, but we're back. So today we're doing a Starfire look. I am starting by just priming my eyelids and doing a little bit of underpainting. When I did the Barbie look, I really liked the way my skin and my base turned out. Yes, it's very heavy, it's a lot of makeup. However, it is Halloween and this is the time to do it. So I just did a little bit under my eyes like I normally would, a little bit around my nose because this change in weather is wreaking havoc on my skin. So around my nose was a little bit red. So I wanted to just, get rid of that, buff it out a little bit without having to cake a ton of product on top. And then I did just a little bit above my lip as well, just to kind of even my lips out and see if that would help with my uneven Cupid's bow, which, spoiler, it kind of did. So that's great. So starting with the eyes, as per usual, I am using the Orange You Glad palette from ColourPop, in case you are wondering, and I am using the color, I believe it's Zesty. It's just like the matte kind of base color for it, and I'm using that as my transition. Now, there's a couple different ways to do Starfire makeup. If you want to do like comic accurate, you really don't need a whole lot, just some warm tones. If you want to do more cosplay, a lot of people do purple and green. I decided to go into the more fire part of her name and do everything very orange, very yellow. So after laying down that light transition color, I went into the crease with a deeper orange. This is more of like a true like orange peel orange. And I'm just placing that very carefully into the crease, just going right over the top of my lid, creating kind of a wing shape. You don't have to blend this out too much. It does blend very nicely into the other colors. Most ColourPop shadows do. Not sponsored, by the way. I wish though. But I am blending it just a little bit. But when I do comic and cartoon characters, I don't worry about the blending so much because when they're drawn, it's not perfectly blended. There's a very clear difference in the gradient. So again, we're just doing that on the other side, drawing in our shape and then blending it out nice and soft. For the lid, I took an even deeper orange, and maybe this is more like orange peel. The other one was more like orange juice, I suppose, or maybe like a carrot orange. It doesn't matter. Use a darker orange on the outer part of your lid, and I'm just bringing that up into the crease a little bit so that it blends nicely. But I'm only putting this on one half of my lid because I want to reserve the inner half for a lighter color that we will be doing here in a minute. But I am just using little packing motions to blend that out because I don't want to lose too much of that orange. I want it to be very bright and vibrant. And then on the rest of the lid, I used yellow, which is from whatever ColourPop's yellow palette is. Something honey, I think. But it's just a true, like, bumblebee bright yellow. I'm just packing that on the inner half of my lid. Of course, I could not just leave the lids there. That would be too boring. So I picked up some yellow glitter that came in this palette, and I know it's called Palooza. I packed that just onto the yellow part to kind of give it that sparky ember type feeling. So once we're all done with that, we're going to just add some black liner. You can do it as thick or as thin as your heart desires. I didn't do anything too big with my wings here because I didn't want to cover up all that beautiful work I just did with the orange and yellow. So the lashes are pretty standard. I'm just giving them a little bit of a curl so they have a nice lift. For this look, I wanted my eyes to be very open. Starfire has these big, bright green eyes. I naturally have green eyes, so I wanted to accentuate them in as many ways as possible. Using the yellow and orange helps. but really the lashes and the liner are going to intensify them. So I used a lot of mascara to give my lashes lift, and even my false lashes that I put on, they're foam minks that curl up. Everything is just focusing on lifting and making everything brighter and more intense around the eye. And you'll see when I do the waterline how I did that even more so with some different color theory tricks. Moving on to the brows, I used my NYX Slick It and or Thick It and Slick It and Thick It, whatever their brow mascara is that adds the little fibers. This is stuff that I had bought when my hair was still red and blonde. And I was kind of sad that I couldn't use it anymore because I really liked the product. But with the wig that I'm going to be wearing, it's literally the perfect color for redheads. If you have kind of that coppery color going on right now, this is the best brow product for you, especially if you are not good at doing your brows. You literally just brush this in. Your brows look so thick and it colors them beautifully. And then I went into my color correcting. When I do a comic character, I want to look as flawless as possible, very drawn, very inhuman, very much like I don't look on a daily basis. So I color corrected with my Dr. Jart. This stuff is amazing, by the way. I got this a while ago, and I know the container they sell it in at Ulta is like ginormous. But I feel like it's totally worth it because you only use a little bit. And I think you can actually use it like all over your face. But literally, if I put this on the next day, my blemishes are gone or they are reduced quite a bit. So whatever skincare is in there is super great. I think it's tiger grass is like one of the main ingredients. I don't know. I've never used it. Highly recommend this product though. Again, not sponsored, just really like it. For foundation, I did realize I went a little pale on my color selection, but that's okay. We are just going to work that in. Of course, I'm using a full coverage foundation and a beauty blender, and I am just blending that out all over my face. Since we did all that underpainting, we don't have to do as much concealing. I just wanted to put a little bit on my chin to bring it out and forward, change my face shape a little bit, and then of course on my nose, just because we're going to contour and I want to make everything look very snatched, very flawless. So I added some concealer to my nose, and right now it looks very flat and weird, but once it's contoured, I swear it looks better. So jumping back to the eyes, we are going to go into the waterline with a little bit of black eyeliner right on the outside of the waterline. So I'm using that on like the first third and connecting it to my wing. This is just to give that, it's going to kind of close off the eye on the corner, but I'm adding this white on the inside to open it up and bring that green forward. So I'm just using a little bit of white liner and drawing a very thin line right in my inner tear duct and across. Doing this just gives the eyes different shape. It makes them look rounder, more doll-like, more awake. And you can kind of see when I'm looking at the camera that my one eye does look a lot more vibrant than the other. It's just going to pull the whites of your eyes out. It's going to make everything look super bright. And then in between the white and the black, I used purple. This is especially if you have green eyes or you're wearing green contacts. Purple is like green eyes' best friend. I wear purple a lot. I use it a lot in my makeup because it does make my eyes look super intense. And after I use the liner, I basically just set everything with this purple shadow except for the white. And this was more so for the makeup drama effect of it, but you can see my eyes look bright, green, like glowing, vibrant. So now I am contouring. This is just my normal contour with a little bit of e.l.f. powder. I kept everything, just very feminine in terms of facial structure. And then I used a warm orange blush that had a little bit of shimmer in it to keep that kind of glowing ember effect going on throughout the look. For highlighter, I just use a little bit of e.l.f. brightening powder. Again, very glowy, very lit from within kind of highlight that I'm doing here, just on my cheeks, my nose, and the bridge of my nose. And then for the lips, I am using these kind of rosy tones. You could do an orange, you could even do a purple if you really want, but I just thought the rosy tones kind of matched everything else. So I am just lining my lips. I'm not overlining them or underlining them. I'm just going very, very closely to my lip line, just very slowly accentuating everything. Especially with my bottom lip, I tend to go a little bit too far, but this time I was right on the line. It's probably the best lip liner application I've done in a very long time. And then I used a dark kind of mauvey pink all on the outside of the lips. I left the inside bare because we're going to use a different color. But this was basically just to blend the liner into the other color and create a more defined kind of pouty look here. And then, like I said, I just went in with this kind of rosy pink in the center and all over to give it a little bit lighter of a look, but the lips are still really defined. Now let's talk costume. Almost all of this is from Amazon, or I think all of it may be from Amazon. I got the bodysuit a while ago and can't remember if that's where I ordered it from, but the belt I just got on Amazon. The gauntlet are metal, and then these stockings I have on actually go up like past my hip. So if you are someone who has thick thighs and wants stockings, I will link these down below, but I just turned them into boot covers. And the wig I got on Amazon a long time ago too. So I hope you guys enjoyed the Starfire look. I love it, and I will see you in the next one.